And I know you've heard this, but my question is, how much do you do it? And that is visualization. And we call it highly engaged visualization. Visualization where you're seeing yourself doing something and you're emotively there. You're literally closing your eyes and meditating on the experience. You're seeing it, feeling it, sensing it, and it's not the kind of visualization you've probably been taught to do, which is just all the buoyant victory, everything's great, victory, hey, everything's awesome, perfect. It's the visualization where you also imagine, see, and feel the struggle on purpose. Let me give you an example. Lots of people, when they're new to performance training and haven't had a lot of experience, they would say, if you're gonna run a marathon, imagine yourself crossing that finish line. Your arms up in victory, everything is great. You cross that finish line, there's your family, and they give you big hugs, and you feel great, still vital, energized, ready to kick some butt. You could run another 20 miles. You're the strongest, most powerful you ever. And I'm like, ooh, wow, that's just a person who hasn't done a lot of training or actual high performance coaching in their life. Because the better thing to imagine is what happens at mile 13. To imagine yourself running strong, but also seeing and sensing and feeling yourself at mile 13 when that decision point comes to want to quit. That's where I want you to also enter the scene and visualize, seeing yourself struggle, like seeing the perspiration, seeing the heartache, seeing the hurt, the pain, that like, I can't run anymore, dude. Seeing yourself make a decision at that point to be resilient, to keep at it, to see the charge come back on your face. To see yourself working through the struggle is the most important visualization you can do. What would you say to yourself when it sucks? Not just see yourself validated. It's about, look, the real truth of achieving any dream is that struggle, that effort, that push. And I know you know this. So my question is, when is the last time you just gave yourself a few moments, free away from, playing on the phone, free away from the internet, to just sit down by yourself to visualize and daydream about your dreams, about the activities involved in that, about how you would struggle through, about what it would feel like to be victorious. All of it, the whole thing, the messy part, the ugly part. What would you say to yourself when it gets hard? That's what you need to do. To truly actualize a dream, we got to begin with seeing it and sensing it, the good, the bad, the easy, the difficult, and the victory.
It's hard changing your life. It was hard when just over 3 years ago, in the Penobscot building in Detroit, Michigan, where I was operating my business, and I fell on some hard times, and I was sleeping in my office. It was hard coming into the lobby, and the security said, "Excuse me, Mr. Brown, can we see you for a moment?" And I said, "Yes," and I walked up to the counter, and he gave me an envelope. And he said, "Would you mind reading it here?" And I opened the envelope, and the envelope was from management that said, "This is an office tower. It's not a hotel. Please do not sleep in your office." And I said, "Excuse me, sir." I said, "I just work long hours in creating my business. I'm an entrepreneur. And right now things are bad for me, but they're not going to be this way always. And I just asked for the opportunity to continue to operate like I'm doing. I'm not trying to make this my home." And it was hard coming through the lobby. And sometimes they would laugh. There's a guy talking about becoming successful. And look at him. He's bathing in the bathroom upstairs on the 21st floor. He sleeps on the floor. Him and 2 other dreamers up there. Look at him. It was hard, ladies and gentlemen, coming to speak to people. And I was facing financial difficulties in my own life. I was behind on my bills and my dreams, and I'm saying to them, you can live your dream. It was hard, ladies and gentlemen. It was very difficult to pick myself up each day believing that I could do it. There were times that I doubted myself. I said, "God, why is this happening to me? I'm just trying to take care of my children and my mother. I'm not trying to steal or rob from anybody. How did this have to happen to me?" It was very hard. And here's what I want to say to you. For those of you that have experienced some hardships, don't give up on your dream. No one could have convinced me by holding on by continuing to push forward, by continuing to run toward my dream, that one day I would have my own talk show. It's a long shot, ladies and gentlemen, from Liberty City, an abandoned building on a floor, never knowing my mother or father. It's a long shot being here with you today in this dome in Atlanta. It's a long shot. No college training, labeled educable, mentally retarded, but I kept running toward my dream. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop running toward your dream.
Thing and stuff.
Most of my rhythmic growth is evolutionary, so that what I've worked on grows into something else, But there have been the odd time that I would call epiphanies like that. And there's a rhythm that I used a lot in the late 80s or so, Nigerian music, West African music, with slightly displaced accents in it. And I heard that, I was in a village in Togo in West Africa.
On your 10-speed?
Yeah, traveling by bicycle that time.
Okay.
And just, I heard this rhythm echoing across the valley. And it was just two drummers with hand drums playing it. And it engraved itself on my mind. It became a huge influence on me rhythmically after that, because I'd been listening to King Sunny Ade, was a pioneer of Nigerian pop music, and a certain rhythmic accent syncopations that it was based on, that I was very influenced by at the time. And then this other rhythm that I heard that time in Togo was from that same heart. And the music that I heard, it lodges itself in my brain. It engraves itself in there. And then that becomes something special. And those are rare, I think, when you're suddenly hit by something that's that strong. Reggae, the first time reggae music really got into my soul, and I felt that upbeat, downbeat tension. I'll never forget, it was Bob Marley's song, Natural Mystic.
Yeah.
Just sitting in a car and hearing that song, and suddenly I got it. I got what reggae was all about, where I'd heard it before but hadn't got it.
Second insight, if you want to be more inspired, nature. One of my favorite protocols is the daily nature walk. I love walking in the woods. I often listen to audiobooks in the woods. I call it reading while walking. Reading while walking. So I go to this place. It's sort of my creative forest. There's not a lot of people in there, and I walk for 1 hour. I breathe in the air. I look at the lush scenery. I listen to a different audiobook. It's almost like a walking meditation as well. Sometimes I don't listen to an audiobook, and I just walk, and I touch the earth. It's almost like I'm thanking the earth, connecting with the soil. Yes, I'm wearing shoes. I don't want to get too esoteric here, but there's a lot of really good research saying if you want to boost your immune system, you want to boost your happiness, you want to release serotonin and dopamine, you want to release the fear hormone called cortisol, walk in nature. And so when I walk, I connect with nature. And like I say, I know I'm not being very elegant in this mastery session, I'm just being real, but I listen to audiobooks, and then other times I do a walking meditation where I feel my feet on the soil. You know what I do other times? If there's something I'm confused about, I sort of just talk it out. It's like I'm talking out loud, trying to work it out. If I'm in pain, I get the negative energy out of my system by just releasing it, by talking about it. I also, and I know this sounds a little unorthodox, but I do like a walking blessing meditation. So while I'm walking, I sort of challenge myself to come up with 50 things I'm grateful for. And again, I verbalize those because it's only me and the squirrels in the woods. And so I say, I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for work that feeds my soul. I'm grateful for the sunset I watched last night. I'm grateful for my team. I'm grateful for my business. I'm grateful for the travels that I get to take. I'm grateful for the people that I've served. And literally, while I'm walking, I say out loud, I am grateful for. I hope it doesn't sound strange for you, because it's an incredible protocol to install.
Stop accepting everything. Stop letting people tell you what you can and cannot do. I will not accept it. I don't care if you're a doctor. I will not accept it. And we kept doing our homework and we found out about a pill that you can take. I was like, that's what we need. We need the pill. And I found out the pill shrinks the lesions on your brain. I went to the doctor. She said, I would have told you about it, but I don't think your insurance company is going to be willing to pay for it. It's $10,000 a month, $120,000 a year. Insurance company denied. My wife went back the second time they denied. I told my wife, stop begging. I'm 120. Do I give you $10,000 a month, or do I give you $120,000 now to get it for the year? I will not let my wife, whatever it takes, I will not let her take I will give 120. I will speak more. I will get better. I will get degrees. I will get training. I'll do whatever it takes. I will put your health first, and you will not be defeated. You will not be destroyed. You will not use a cane. You will not be in a wheelchair. We will beat this. Some of you in this room, you are not able to activate your greatness because every time a trial or a tribulation comes, you fold. You give up. Every time somebody calls you and tells you you can't do it, you take it personal. Every time somebody tells you you don't have what it takes, you embrace it. And now you gotta stand up to it. I've never been one time with my wife. I never felt discouraged. I never felt that it wasn't possible. My wife told me just a couple of days ago. She says, today I feel like I felt before I got in this. She had a weekend where she felt great. And I told her, it's for a weekend today. Soon, it will be for the rest of your life. We will not break. We will not retreat. We will not give up. We will activate our greatness. And we will know what it's like to live the 120. Say, I will live the 120. Come on. I will live the 120. Come on. I will live the 120. Come on. I will live the 120. And if you make up in your mind you're going to live the 120. I went from being homeless, eating out of trash cans, to traveling first class. $100,000 in engagement. Back at home, every star, NBA, NFL, whatever, I consult them. I went from being a high school dropout. Why? Because I said I'm gonna get 120. And I need you guys to get 124.
When I got to Dallas, I was a bartender at night, and I moved in. One of my buddies from Indiana said, you gotta come to Dallas. And I'm like, I'm there. You know, my car would only get so far. I had a Fiat X19 with a hole in the floorboard that guzzled oil every 60 miles. And I went down there, and there's a place called The Village. It's the world's largest apartment complex. We had 6 guys in a 3-bedroom apartment. I didn't have my own room. I didn't have my own drawer. I didn't have my closet. I had a pile, and I had one ratty towel that I stole from Motel 6. And that was it. And so I was looking for my career, got a job at a software store. And I was, didn't have a tech background, so I was teaching myself all this. Because the way I look at tech is, somebody invents it, and everybody else is tied for second place in the ability to learn it. And if I work harder and faster to really dive in, even if it means reading the manual, just diving in, then I can get a head start.
How old were you?
I was 24. And so sleeping on the floor, working in a software company, learning, getting better at what I was doing. And then one day, because I was dying to get out of that rat hole that I lived in, I had a chance to go out and close a sale that would have got me a $1,500 commission. And so I went to my boss, his name is Michael Humecki, and I said, boss, one of my responsibilities was to sweep the floor, wipe down the windows, and open the door to open the store. I got the sale, you gotta let me close the sale. He goes, no, you gotta be in here to open the store. And I'm like, Michael, no. So I made the executive decision to go out, pick up the check, thinking if I hand this guy a $15,000 check, of course he's gonna change his mind. Fired me on the spot. And so here I was, living in a shithole, excuse my French, just this ratty place with a Motel 6 towel, sorry, Motel 6. And and really didn't know how I was going to get out. But I decided, okay, I'm a lousy employee. I went to one of the companies that I'd been talking to, Architectural Lighting, and I said, look, I need $500 to be able to buy the software you want, and I promise you that even if it doesn't work, I will wash your car, I will walk your dog, I don't care what it is, I will do whatever it takes to make it up to you. And they gave me the $500, and that allowed me to create Micro Solutions. And 6 months later, I was out of the rat hole, and my company turned into a real company, and that's the one I sold for $6 million when I was 29, 30 years old.
I was at the gym yesterday, and a woman drove by me in a wheelchair at the gym. I was working out pretty hard, and she wheeled by me, heavy-set lady in a wheelchair. I'll be honest with you, I watched her wheel past me. She inspired me. Do you know what courage it takes to get in your wheelchair and decide, I'm gonna go to the gym, right? I'm gonna go to the gym. She's heavy set, awkward. That inspired me far more than the jacked up dude doing 60-pound curls. I mean, that's inspiring, but you see that. A woman in a wheelchair at a gym with her 2-pound dumbbells because her legs don't work, but she went in there anyway. And you know how insecure she was about going in there. She's the only person in a wheelchair. She doesn't know what she's gonna see, how people are gonna react to her. She's not in shape. She doesn't have her full makeup on and her little, halter top like the other girls in there. And she's right in there. She was right in there working out right next to them, right? I couldn't take my eyes off her. I couldn't take my eyes off her. And I ended up telling her that she was leaving. I left what I was doing. I walked over. I said, I just want you to know something. You're inspiring me. This is wonderful. Her face just lit up because you know how sad how insecure she was about being in there. The most inspiring person is the one overcoming the fear of doing something, not the person who's excellent at it.